Condoning versus condemning controversial concepts, for instance, conspiracies and corruption. I've noticed recently the hesitancy of those who are left-leaning to condemn things like homosexual behavior or governmental overreach, just to name a couple controversial concepts, while they are also quick to condemn any theories used to explain corruption. On the right, I've seen individuals quick to condemn things like radical Islamic terrorism, but not quite as vocal regarding the conspiratorial mindset that some on their side exhibit. The reasons for these differences in priorities are manifold, but I think it's worth pointing out that when the right sees the left failing to condemn something they are quick to condemn, and vice versa regarding the left's perception of the right, what is concluded by each is that a condoning disposition is being held by the other. I think it's important to recognize that perception is never reality when perceptions are wrong, but I also think it's helpful to realize what perceptions people have and how you either counter or reinforce them based on your words and conduct. A couple more examples to illustrate this polarized state involves the most talked about virus and various reactions to it. Those on the left do not seem to condemn mandates from the government, whether they be to wear a mask or inject one's body with an experimental drug which has received emergency use authorization by a governmental agency, but which the pharmaceutical industry is already, or at least has the potential to profit from. On the other hand, those on the right take an extreme approach to personal liberty and don't concern themselves with the very real dangers of the virus, which many have realized is a genetically modified bioweapon developed through well-funded gain-of-function research, and therefore could have long-term negative health consequences if one gets infected. Because disagreeing with someone usually makes you more firm in your views, because you research to find others who agree with you, the art of agreeing to disagree has been lost, and in my opinion, is one of the first things that needs to be found. All sides should concern themselves with truth and avoid being a useful idiot to either side, which is basically what someone becomes when they simply parrot a party line without doing their own research, with an open mind and at least attempting to see the merits of an opposing viewpoint. Quick caveat, the words right and left are used in place of other terms which could equally be as useful labels, but might be more polarizing or offensive, such as right-wing conservative fundamentalist or Republican versus liberal progressive socialist or Democrat. It's also worth mentioning that moderates on these positions are hard to find, and though some might claim to be libertarians or independents, they're so few and they are not organized enough to really matter. Plus, they usually side with either right or left on the more controversial issues.